Hey guys, I'm Dave Brooks with Dave Brooks Artist Development and TheVocalTeacher.com, and I'd like to welcome everybody out to another edition of my weekly video blog. Today I want to discuss crying. We cry in this studio. We do not sing in this studio. Not at first. I know that may sound a little strange because I'm a vocal coach and I'm supposed to teach people how to sing. Here's why I stay away from singing. And even using that word in here while I'm coaching. Each one of you watching this right now, every one of you, including myself, we all have our own definition of what singing is. Okay? The brain is going to send signals down to your vocal cords to do certain things, to the muscles to do certain things that are going to adhere to your definition of singing. So, if you're having problems with what you're doing, you come in here and try to sing your way through these exercises, it's never going to work. Because you're literally going back to, your brain's going back to default and doing what it's been doing. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to always be what you've always been. I say that all the time in here, and it's so true. Strike singing from your vocabulary. Don't even identify what you're doing as singing. What you're going to do is cry, pout, and whine your way to a better voice. To an amazing voice. So we stay away from singing and we cry. Crying is obnoxious. It's obnoxious. We don't want it to sound good at first. Our desire to make something sound good is going to kill us at first. Because we're going to go right back to singing, and that's going to resurrect, so to speak, our really, really horrible vocal habits. So we want to make sure we don't do that. Crying. What is that? Let's go back over that really fast. This is not crying. Na 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 na. That's a very pleasant, light presentation of an exercise. But we're not setting it up right. What do I talk about day in, day out? Let's set it up right in our chest voice. That's the easiest place for us to phonate. So let's go ahead and do it right. Na 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 na. And that little vocal fry presentation on the way back down is absolutely critical. Why? Because the last thing your brain hears, the last thing your muscles feel before you get ready to go that half step higher, the last thing it hears is the first thing it wants to pick back up when you do that. So we don't want to give the brain not even one chance to go back to the bad habits. So we stay consistent with that form no matter how much air we are passing through, which is why we don't do this. Na 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 na. We were great up until the end, then we let the chords go. Do not do that. Remember, consistency is the key. Vocal fry is the first true chord aligner. It's not legitimate phonation. It doesn't matter. You're setting it up right. Na 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 na. Slight pout, not overly done. Ladies, na 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 na. End with that vocal fry. Na 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 na. Slight fry. It's not overdone. Na 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 na. Too much. Way too much. Now you're going to go through this, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to go through this period of overdoing it. I'd rather you overdo it than underdo it. I'd rather you overdo it because that's really taking you as far away from your bad vocal habits as possible. Remember, form and function always comes first. We'll sculpt later. Which is why it's so important for those of you that are out there practicing this stuff, you know, get in here. Let's do a Skype lesson or an in-person lesson and let me hear what you're doing. I want to literally see and hear what your definition of right is. Make sure that you're doing it right. I'm going to end with this. So we cry in here, we don't sing. Another characteristic that's going to take you back to your old vocal habits when you're doing your exercises is vibrato. I do not allow any of my clients to do any vibrato with their exercises at first. Why? Because vibrato is your desire. When you do it in your exercises, it's nothing more than your desire to want to make that exercise sound good and pleasing and pleasant. We want to get away from that because everything that you have attached to the pleasing and pleasant is the very reason you're sitting in here. You can't get past your breaks. You're doing all of these things that all add up to you breaking in guys and E's and F's, ladies and A's and B's and C's. So we want to take I want to assist you in taking you as far away from those bad vocal habits. Vibrato only reinforces bad vocal habits at first because it's going to take you back to default mode. I always say that. The brain's going to go back, go, oh, well, we're singing now, we're using vibrato. I'm telling you right now, folks, it's extremely important. Stay away from vibrato at first and just be a baby. Na 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 na. Instead of na 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 na. That's singing, and I'm telling you right now, the brain is going to identify that as singing and not crying. I know it sounds a little strange, but everything that we do is mental before it's physical. Send signals down to your muscles. I'm going to kick my leg up. I just did that. A millisecond before I kicked my leg, I sent signals down to my knee to do that. Everything is mental, folks. Everything. So we want to make sure we're not giving the brain any chance to take you back to your bad vocal habits. Make sure the cry is consistent, and you go back down to the vocal fry, you know, na 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 na. A slight pout on the end. Very good. Very good. It just keeps that cry consistent, keeps the form consistent, and get rid of the vibrato. We'll get into the vibrato later. Vibrato actually frees up the voice. It's a very good thing to do, but not at first, because that's going to take you, like I said, take you right back to your old form. I'm telling you right now, it works really, really well. So for those of you who are watching this, when you're practicing your exercises, what are we looking for? We want consistent cry, because that means you're being consistent with your airflow, and you're combining that lateral tension to make a good, consistent cry. Always, obviously, watch out where the larynx is going, especially when you're getting up, guys, past your E's and your F's, ladies, past your A's and your B's. Watch where that larynx is, slightly hoot that larynx. To keep the larynx down, I call it the drop and press. Press. You drop that larynx down, you stay pressed in, the tone stays forward. Watch your vibrato presentation. Get rid of it at first. So you can just bring the tone forward. Just keep that muscle memory going. Just pound that into the brain. This is what we're doing. Okay? We cry in here. We do not sing in here at first. Singing is later. Once you've understood all this and got that muscle memory dug in. Alright? Okay, so be a big old crybaby, and let's get to work.